Hi guys and welcome back to Auto Social UK. Now, am I excited about today's review? Because I am so lucky that JEEP UK have actually lent me a JEEP Wrangler with a tent box on top. And over the past week, I've been going around Wales with my cousin and also to the Cotswolds and Oxford and testing out what it's really like to live with a JEEP Wrangler with a tent box on top. So in today's video, I'm going to tell you what I think of the latest generation of JEEP Wrangler, because this is a bit of a beast. So is it easy to live with a car this huge? And I'm also going to give you a really short review of the tent box cargo. So if that sounds good, then please keep watching. And if you like new car reviews and car content, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Okay, so first off, well, let's talk about the tent box. If you're looking for a durable rooftop tent to sleep to, then it probably doesn't get any better than the tent box cargo. It is pricey, coming in at £2,750, but it's the convenience that makes this tent king. It pops up in literally 30 seconds flat. You simply unclip the latches and it goes up with the help of gas struts. The memory foam mattress remains inside and is surprisingly comfortable and spacious. Two adults could sleep side by side very comfortably. In fact, we did for 3 nights. The hard top of the tent makes it extremely robust, and it has a wind rating of up to 39 miles per hour. 10 out of 10, I would sell a kidney to be able to have one of these cargo tent boxes, although I'm not sure this style would fit on the up. And that reminds me, does anyone want to buy a kidney? Now back to the Wrangler. We're definitely not used to cars like this in the UK. This thing is absolutely massive, and a lot of people will hate it because it is very Americanized, but that doesn't mean it's not extremely cool, right? This thing is awesome and it gets so many looks. In fact, the JEEP Wrangler has become quite popular with influencers because I guess it's the closest thing to looking a bit like a G-Wagon on the road. It definitely gets attention. You've got this massive front bumper and this thing is huge. You can literally sit right on it. You've got that classic JEEP front style grille and you've got the round headlights. It really is very great and it's got lovely rugged touches. You've got the massive air vents on the bonnet. You've also got the clips that attach the bonnet together, and you can also find some nice heavy hinges on the doors. It is all very rugged and industrial, and that makes me love it. It also plays homage to the classic JEEP Williams in various different ways. You've got a tiny little JEEP Williams on the wheel, and you can also find it elsewhere on the JEEP Wrangler. There definitely is a knack to getting in and out of the Wrangler. Just like that. That made it look really easy, but to begin with, believe me, I didn't always make it look exactly elegant. You do have a ton of rugged grab handles, so you've got ones here on the pillar of the front windscreen, and you've also got one here. So if you really did want to use this off-roading vehicle for what it was designed for, you've got those fantastic elements. And that's a great segue into a little bit about the off-roading capabilities. Though we're not going to dwell on it too much today, there is some off-road Wrangler action coming in the next few weeks. So if that sounds good, then make sure you're subscribed. But JEEP does throw a badge on all of their vehicles which say that it's trail rated. This stamp means that the car has been optimised for off-roading, with a focus on a few specific engineering traits. Every Wrangler is designed to be off-road capable right out of the factory. Every JEEP offers 4x4 all-wheel drive, low gearing and all-terrain tyres providing exceptional traction in rain, snow, sand, mud and dirt. Specific Wrangler brands such as Rubicon offer electric locking differentials, lower gearing and options to increase traction and performance over obstacles. Inside the cabin, it is a blend between quality but then also rugged off-roading. I love the exposed red on the doors, but you've also got a nice trimmed leather elsewhere. These seats are also heated and you get a heated steering wheel. The infotainment system is very much JEEP. It's not great. It's a little bit clunky, but to be honest, for a vehicle like this, it's more than capable. You also get a ton of nice quality equipment as well. It's got a rear view camera, adaptive cruise control, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, you've got sat nav, and you've also got all of your climate control settings that you might want. I love the fact that it's all very user friendly. You've got a nice load of buttons because believe me, you need to keep your hands on the steering wheel. So to not have a fiddly touchscreen and to have physical climate controls is definitely handy. You've got a ton of connections for infotainment. You've got an aux as well as a USB and a USB-C, and you've also got your 12-volt charger here. There isn't any additional charging in the centre console, but you do have some charging in the back, which includes 2 USB-Cs, you've got 2 USBs, and you've also got a 3-pin plug. So there's loads of charging capabilities when going out and about in the Wrangler. If I didn't have the tent box on, we've also got the car which can have a removable roof. This just makes it so versatile. You can have it as a tent box at one point, and then you can have the roof off and have it as an off-roading convertible. It really is the car that can do just about everything. I am actually currently on puppy sitting duties, so if you see a little ginger ball of fluff in the background, that's Albie, and Albie's coming with me on today's journey. And Albie's feelings on the Jeep Wrangler pretty much sum it up. To start with, it's a little bit of a shock, and it really is a lot to get used to. The thing with the Jeep Wrangler is its off-roading capabilities dominates exactly how it drives. And that means that this feels like an old school stripped back off-roader. It's very rattly. Those large wheels, as they hit bumps in the road, they do send a bit of a shock through the cabin. There's also not that much kind of composure when it comes to wind noise. You get quite a lot of noise from the tyres, you get quite a lot of noise from this roof because of course the roof can be removed, and once again you do get quite a lot of noise that comes from underneath that tent box as well. You also get the combination of the steering is a little bit vague. You have to make sure that you are at all times paying attention to where this car is going, because if you're distracted for even a second, then it can kind of wander across the road. And this all sounds negative and scary, but the thing is it's exactly what I was expecting from the Jeep Wrangler, because it doesn't pretend to be a plushy SUV. It's not like, for instance, the Defender, which has had loads of money in making sure that it's really refined and it drives like a really capable SUV. All the money on the Wrangler has gone and making it that heritage piece, making it like your classic old school off-roaders. And if you want that from it, then it's absolutely fantastic. You've got 2 gear selectors, so this car does come with a 2-litre turbocharged engine with just under 300 brake horsepower, and that's paired together with an 8-speed automatic gearbox. Now, along with everything else about the Wrangler, the gearbox and the engine combination is not particularly refined. The engine is probably a little bit little for this car. It's absolutely huge, and to be hauling around in a 2-litre, it's not exactly completely capable. They did used to do a V6 and that would have been far better suited, and a diesel. It feels like this car should be a diesel. Now, there are some positives to it being a petrol, and that's the fact that actually the engine is quite quiet. As you start it up, you do have a little bit of a rattle from the car, but overall it's quite quiet and it's actually quite composed in the engine department. But that does mean that you do get a little bit of lag from the gearbox as it's kind of waiting to change gear. You have to have a bit of patience when you're driving the Jeep Wrangler, because it doesn't give you that instant power. You have to wait and wait for it to kick in, and then it gives you the power. But once again, it's nothing for me that ruins the experience, because I wasn't expecting it to be an extremely composed car in all senses of the word. You do also have to be aware that if you're using this for a road trip car, like I did, it's quite thirsty. Because a 2-litre engine and a vehicle of this size means you're not going to get the best fuel economy. I've been getting kind of around 20-25 miles per gallon, and that's with me being gentle on it. When I was on the motorway, I was kind of sticking to 65 rather than going right up to 70. And you do have to say that the tent box on top, once again, when you're doing motorway driving especially, is going to kind of add to that fuel economy, and it's going to reduce it slightly. Space in the back is massive, as you would hope. This version of the Wrangler actually has an upgraded Alpine sound system. So you get these 2 massive speakers above the rear seat passengers. In my opinion though, it is quite bassy. I know you can turn that down, but I don't particularly think that it's essential in a car like this. You do have a centre console which pulls out with the headrest, and then you get 2 really good cup holders and somewhere to pop a mobile phone. Of course, overall, for 2 people in the back here, it would be brilliant. The middle seat is slightly slimmer, and because you have this centre console which turns into the armrest, it's not exactly as comfortable to sit in as the outer seats. But I definitely think that even for longer trips, you'd be perfectly fine sitting 3 people side by side. Now, what is really cool about this car is even if you don't have the tent box on top, rear seat space with these seats down is massive. As you can see, with the rear seats down, you have absolutely masses of space in the back here. So whilst camping, me and my cousin have actually been using this space to get ready in. But if you didn't have the luxury of a tent box, you could very easily lay down in here if you had a mattress, especially if you did have just a box on top to put your stuff in. It's really, really versatile. There's a little bit of storage underneath the boot as well. You have this 2-stage opening. Now, what I really love about this 2-stage opening is if you wanted to go to the beach, if it's a not very nice day, you could have the hatch up, you could sit in the back with a flask of tea and enjoy the view. Spending a week with the Jeep Wrangler, it's apparent why so many influencers and alike love this car. It's just so much fun and it draws so much attention. It's actually rubbish at being a daily driver, let's face it. There's no feed through the steering wheel. It feels a little bit like it could have its own personality and go anywhere at any time. And it's just massive, way too massive for our UK roads. But despite all that, would I still want one? Abso-bloody-lutely. It may not be for everyone, but if you do like doing a lot of travelling, going off-road and having the ability to have the fantastic tent box cargo on top, it makes it so much fun. But for those people that are just using this car for a daily driver, yeah, that really is a bit excessive, and perhaps you should look at something a bit different, especially with that thirsty petrol engine. But what do you guys think? Do you love or hate the Jeep Wrangler? If you was going to have something that was going to take you on road trips and have a tent on top, what would it be? Let me know in the comments down below. If you've enjoyed the video, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos from me, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Until next time, guys, see you later.